In part 2 of the FEH 10.3 refines, we're covering Little La Rochelle, Legendary Hinoka, and Legendary Male Robin. Let's get started. Little La Rochelle was kind of the original cavalry healer version that her new rearmed ult sort of updated. They have a few similar effects, but instead of adding more support, the younger version's going to be a bit more aggressive. Staff of Rausten got some good updates. At start of turn and after acting, inflict -7 speed and res, exposure, and flash onto the closest foes and any foe within 2 spaces. La Rochelle has built-in Wrathful Staff to deal full damage, and she has accelerated specials now. She will gain +6 attack and +5 defensive res in combat. La Rochelle has no guard effects, and preempt pulses -1 instant cooldown before attacking. For the refined part, La Rochelle gets another +10 stats in combat, deals 20 true damage, and has the 100% potent follow-up effect. Be within 5 speed of the enemy to deal an extra full damage hit. The main change is that, like her new rearmed ult, this version's flash debuffing is now AoE, and it hits the closest enemy. Very annoying if the enemy team doesn't bring Nelsie Disrupt. La Rochelle has added some speed debuffing and exposure for more true damage potential, and the rest of her refine is pretty much just all personal damage. Slaying, no guard, and preempt pulse is pretty crazy. You got the standard 20 true damage just cuz, and then if La Rochelle's fast enough, she gets the 100% potent follow-up. This is also on the new rearmed ult. I wouldn't say Little La Rochelle is going to overtake her brand new version, but she does have a bit of a temper to beat some sense into her enemies. Rearmed La Rochelle has the fun Cancel Affinity plus Tranquil Depth gimmick, as was Arcane Latona's Imbue and Penalty Cleansing effects. We aren't getting those here, but Little La Rochelle has extra cooldown perks. If you inherit Preempt Amplify and use a Rally or Movement Assist healer skill, then La Rochelle can also get the Preempt Pulse status. That will stack with her Refine for -2 instant cooldown before attacking. Thanks to the new Slaying effect, La Rochelle could get the new 5 cooldown Charm specials to 4 cooldown. Before she attacks, they now go to 2 cooldown. If she's fast enough and the foe is hit by flash, La Rochelle will get to attack 3 times in a row. Thanks to No Guard, the first 2 hits will charge the Charm special. The third 100% potent hit will then proc it. The main obstacle for this setup is that you need to activate Preempt Amplify, which costs an action. If you do not have Ice Lock or Magic Shield's extra action, you could use Makai's Ring. For other ways to get -1 cooldown, you could just use Quicken Pulse for a one-time deal. Emblemard's Ring could work, or you could find a Breath type cooldown support. If you can get the -1 cooldown, then this La Rochelle can also trigger the 3 cooldown Holy Pressure special immediately. Again, if you can get Breath type cooldown or maybe Mart's Ring, then your 100% potent hit could potentially get a second activation. Moving past cooldown spamming, this La Rochelle can make great use of her rearmed ult's kit. Preempt Amplify can buff allies and give Kanto 2, which is really nice. You can use Ice Lock for Ice Terrain and its extra action, which is great to abuse with Lin's Ring. Last, Attack and Speed Hone Assault further buffs the team's damage. This refine is all about letting La Rochelle's team attack the weakened and flashed enemies. Now, if you do end up using Windfire or Deluge Charm, those give Liberate statuses and 40% DR. For the A slot, Attack and Speed Aria is great, but any Attack and Speed booster will suffice. You could use Tidings for Dazzling Staff, but we're kind of banking on the weapon applying Flash. For other skills, called to serve as another assist-focused option. Shaku can tack on in-combat debuffing. For true damage, DR Piercing, and Kanto, there is Far Resound, but La Rochelle's HP is on the lower side. Now in the C slot, Shadow Assist skills are good for mobility, and Osprey Wave 4 could give no follow-up with team speed buffs. For attuned skills, you can get Far Trace Kanto here. Unlike rearmed La Rochelle, you could also fly in with Mercy Wing Echo to perhaps surprise an enemy. In conclusion, this refine is decent, but if you used rearmed La Rochelle's skill set, then at that point, why not just use the rearmed ult itself? If you don't run those skills, then you ideally at least want to try to find a Kanto ability to help get out of danger. Next up, Legendary Hinoka is a red flying archer with great offensive stats. Hinoka gets some tweaks to who her abilities affect, and then a whole lot of new firepower. Starting with Fujin-Raijin Yumi, Hinoka gets Kanto distance with a max of 3. She has Flyer and Armored Effectiveness plus Slaying. Hinoka gets +6 attack and speed and +5 defensive res in combat. She deals 25 true damage and gets full of follow-up effects. If Hinoka fights a green foe or outspeeds the enemy, she prevents their counterattack. For the refined part, at start of turn and after acting, inflict -7 speed and defense, sabotage, and exposure onto the closest foes and anyone within 2 spaces. Hinoka gets +10 stats in combat and 15 flat damage reduction. For the base effect, Hinoka gets a better Kanto, more stats and true damage, and full enough follow-up. She is still kind of banking on her sweep effect to survive, and will now inflict speed and defense debuffing that gets doubled via sabotage. Hinoka did get some bonus defense and res with flat tier to tank some hits, but she is starting out with pretty low base defense and res, so will it be enough? For Hinoka's remixed Rallying Cry 2, at start of either phase, grants Breath type cooldown and True Charge to all allied types within 2 spaces. Hinoka gets a Crux range debuff for -5 to all stats. For herself, Hinoka will get 7 true damage and flat DR, 50% piercing, and the 100% potent follow-up effect. Rallying Cry now works on either phase and upgrades to True Charge to bypass Warp Bubble. Importantly, Hinoka no longer only gives charge to flyers, it goes to all allied types. Additionally, the Crux debuffs used to only work on non-flying foes, they now work on all enemy types. The rest of the effects just improve Hinoka's firepower. Like Lava Shell, we have another sweep attacker with 100% potent for 3 hits in a row. As part of her remix, Hinoka gets Speed Taker for free. Great talent stacking with true damage, speed debuff neutralization, and no guard. Pretty good option since there aren't exactly a ton of other B skills Hinoka wants outright. Execution Breath and Arc 4th Breath are there, but Hinoka has Breath type cooldown already. If you want the anti-healing or full DR piercing specials though, then you could run those skills if you want. For A skills, Hinoka could run the new Airspace for lots of attack and speed with up to 12 true damage. You could also get true damage from Slash with Sparrow, Flame Tiles from Flared Sparrow, and then Hinoka's innate catch is okay if you got nothing else. If you wanted Airspace, that's currently only from Harmonic Hilda, who unfortunately is now gone. Hilda also is the only one with the new Waning Shot special for archers, which Hinoka actually could use very well. Waning Shot has a built-in Sabotage attack and defense effect, which will stack with the Sabotage status Hinoka's Refine now inflicts. With her -7 defense debuff, that now turns into -21 defense total, -26 if you count Rallying Cry. Waning Shot is also a 40% DR special, and since Nelsie Disrupt isn't uncommon, well, Hinoka may want a backup plan if she gets hit. Flat DR passes are hard to come by for this class type, but if you can get an attack debuffing teammate, then with Waning Shot's Sabotage effect and the refined Sabotage status, then maybe Hinoka can also get more than -20 in attack debuffs. That's pretty sneaky for a unit who is originally a glass cannon type. For other specials, Hinoka could make use of her innate Deadeye or upgrade to Astra if the 50% piercing is enough for you. You can run Arch Rival for anti-special perks, but the Waning Shot with attack debuffs idea sounds pretty interesting too. As for Curve Shot, it's low cooldown, but I'm not sure the damage is worth it anymore. For other B skills, Hinoka has Wings of Mercy 4 for surprise warping, but obviously you lose a lot of combat power. If you wanted more support perks, then Hinoka could opt for Favor or Shackle. As for Sacred Seals, Prime 3 is good since Hinoka has 2 statuses. You can chip away with Savage Blow or Poison Strike, and Hinoka could stack Rain's short range debuffs with her other debuffing effects. Last, even though she gets Charge, you could use Aerobatics or Fly Formation to warp around the team diagonally. All in all, Legendary Hinoka's Refine and Remix are pretty straightforward, focusing on mainly damage while expanding her charge support to all allied types. There are some neat new skills to try, but their Oni Sources banner has ended recently. That being said, Harmonic Hilda is one of the new Normal 7 Divine Codes common manuals. It will take a while to get there though. And last to find for this month is for Legendary Male Robin. This Green Infantry Mage used to be an absolute terror, is the Grand Strategist back in business. Master's Tactics has gotten some changes. At sort of either phase, 3 things will happen. 1. Robin grants his Grand Strategy status to allies within 2 spaces. 2. Robin inflicts -4 stats on himself. 3. Robin inflicts -6 to the 2 highest stats among each ally within 2 spaces. If you're confused why Robin is debuffing his own team, it's because Grand Strategy is a unity status, so you get in-combat stats equal to 2 times the amount of debuffs. Basically, Robin gains a net total of +4 stats, while his allies gain +6 to their 2 highest stats. Moving on, at start of either phase or after acting, Robin now inflicts -7 stats on the enemy, along with Sabotage to double up, and then Discord for even more debuffs. This hits the closest foe and has a 3-space AoE. For himself, Robin has Sling, inflicts -5 attack and speed and res on the foe, he prevents 1 follow-up attack, and he gets 15 flat damage reduction. For the refined part, Robin gets the Raven Tome effect, aka he gets weapon triangle advantage versus colorless foes. He then gets +10 stats and 25 true damage. To summarize, Robin's main Grand Strategy plus ally debuffing perks are the same, but now trigger when you end turn as well. Previously, Robin inflicted -3 debuffing on the foe, but that's now -7, and you get Sabotage plus Discord for even more stat debuffing. Moving on to the remixed part of the Plan A skill, it has been renamed to the Plan Part 2. Top tier name, but what does it do now? At start of either phase, Robin grants Rally Spectrum, Creation Pulse, and Conto 1 statuses to his allies within 2 spaces. Robin inflicts -9 stats on the foe, and has a unity effect to counter debuffs. He has 7 true damage and flat DR, and gets a free follow-up attack. Robin's Remix and Refine have thrown in 5 new statuses into the mix. On one hand, you got tons of debuffing, on the other you get tons of cooldown. Sabotage and Discord will make Creation Pulse give -2 instant cooldown. Rally Spectrum gives -1 instant cooldown, but if you don't have Sling, then it gives -2 instead. -3 or -4 instant cooldown for the entire team is hilarious, and you get Conti utility as well. Now, for Robin himself, stacking unity effects is one of the most powerful combos in this game. For example, the -4 stat debuffs Robin self-inflicts would grant +8 stats from Grand Strategy. You offset the -4 to get a net gain of +4. Well, when you add the second unity perk from the plan part 2, Robin still gets another +8 stats, so now the net gain is +12. If the enemy applies higher debuffs, then Robin just gets more stats. Foes can offset this with effects like Sabotage or Foe Penalty Doubler, but, well, Robin now inflicts his own Sabotage debuffing, so there's going to be a whole lot of adding and subtracting going on. Grand Strategy made Robin quite annoying to deal with, so what happened? The devs introduced Deploy status, which negates Grand Strategy. Robin still has no answer to Deploy status. He isn't really a high flat res unit, so if Ploy is around, then Grand Strategy's gone. However, you can still give Grand Strategy to a high res unit who isn't affected by Ploy, and they'll keep the benefits. Honestly, that idea hasn't changed since the start. At least Robin now offers 5 new statuses besides just Grand Strategy. Robin can enact a fairly basic game plan with his new Refine. Using all the cooldown from Rally Spectrum and Creation Pulse, Robin is now able to instantly trigger the 5 cooldown Comet special. Comet gives itself -1 cooldown at start of turn, and if Robin tanks a hit, then he can help recharge it in the enemy phase. Comet's a great special for Robin because A, it inflicts so many debuffs that he will get higher base damage to better scale Comet's damage. B, Comet is the mage 40% DR special that works on either phase for first attacks. To synergize with his instant special strategy, Robin has gotten attack and res low finish as part of his remix. Low is great to neutralize enemy field boss because Robin's already turning debuffs back around with Unity. The instant special proc gives Robin +15 true damage and he heals 7 HP on hit after. Low finish also grants 7 flat DR, so altogether with his weapon and A skill, Robin's now up to 22 flat DR. For other skills, Robin can use Astra if you don't have a premium special. Logic can replace Comet, but its 40% DR is player phase only. I've listed Magic, Light, and Flare, but Robin's immense stat debuffing will lower their damage unless the enemy just has an incredible amount of res themselves. Now, for B skills, I think Low Finish is the best for now. Robin could use Conjuring Breath, but he's already got a special ready. Lagu's friend could give full DR piercing to the special, or you could use Tempo 4/No Follow-Up 4 for 50% piercing. Just for more team support, you could rock Favor, but Robin's already giving tons of free cooldown with his new remix. As a heads up, normally Pair Up 4 would be a really fun option on this Robin. He would be tough for the double, and he gets good true damage and flat DR. But Pair Up 4 neutralizes stat debuffs. Do not use this Robin in a team with debuff neutralization. You're gonna self-sabotage the Unity/Grand Strategy effects. Continuing, for C skills, Robin has free reign, Conto control is fine, or you can go with self-buffing with warping via Oath 4. Pulsar could maybe get a second Comet to activate if the foe survives, but Robin needs more cooldown effects like Breath type cooldown. To deny sweep effects, Robin could also use Silence Ward. Technically, Robin would love Instruct, but I'm not sure he's going to be granting much great talent stats himself. For Sacred Seals, Finish can tack on 5 true damage for the special. Robin would love bonus Delver support with field buffers like Eikthenir. As a very stat-focused generalist, this Robin is a great user of the new Close Transcend Sacred Seal for close counter. Silence Ward plus close counter means you kinda have to deal with Robin even in melee range. All in all, Legendary Robin's Refiner Remix didn't change Grand Strategy's strategy, but Robin has called in the backup with 5 new status effects. With modern percent DR and flat DR, he could be very annoying just like back in the day. That's it for part 2 of the 10.3 refines. Lava Show and Hinoka crank up the firepower while Robin's introducing some crazy team cooldown potential. If you missed part 1, we covered Young Boyd, Riche, Flavia, and Astrid. Next up, I'll be covering the 2026 Spring Banner, which has had some interesting developments. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.